Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we've got a Napoleon Total War 3 battle to look at. Napoleon Total War 3 is a mod for Napoleon Total War. It's a complete overhaul of the game, really awesome, worth looking up. Today we've got a battle between British and American forces in the War of 1812. They're evenly set matched forces, they're 6-6 as a point level on each side. You'll know, if you know what the game is, you'll understand what that means. We won't get too far into that because they were here just here to look at the battle. I've skipped the beginning stuff just to get to the good stuff. Well, we're going to start off here with the formation of light British dragoons that are going to... They've scouted out ahead and found some American cavalry, and they're here in a second about to go ahead and try and take them out before the rest of the army gets here and find out that they're actually pretty inferior to the American cavalry today. So we'll skip forward a little bit. And here we go. This is what starts off the whole battle, this little incident, which is just a big rout for the British cavalry.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest.
33 men in the formation. And you can see this guy's already off his horse. And they're running that fast. Completely outclassed by the American cavalry there. And those cavalry are gone. They're done. 33 of 14 in no time. Now this mod slows down combat. It's not super crazy to where guys are dropping left and right. So that goes to show you just how outmatched they were because they didn't last long. American army is just starting to come into position. We can't see them anymore because of the fog of war effect that's applied for the mod. So we'll put it on fast forward, let the units get into formation. If you see here, we have British troops.
Men are fatigued, sir, and
yeah,
must rest
no, they're
awhile.
fatigued. There's British troops marching through the woods. Let me play it real quick, show you something. So look at the speed that they're marching through the woods, okay? This is a bad idea because if we run over here to these units that are out in the open, they're actually come to a stop. They move faster out here. The units naturally move slower to match the pace of a real battle, but moving through the woods like this slows them down even more. So they've actually shifted their march down here, out in that area right there, to get out on the road so they can move quicker. And you can hear there's units that are being fatigued already. Fatigue makes them move slower, but not as combat effective, and it can weaken their morale when they're in combat, so that's something you got to keep an eye on. We'll fast forward again. So here's the first British infantry units that have arrived on the field. They're actually Mohawk skirmishers, hiding in these bushes here. And then there's actually some frontiersmen, looks like. I'm not sure what the unit's called, but they're basically riflemen skirmishers for the American side. And you can't see them, but there are infantry forces back in here. You can actually hear their drums beating, just can't see them quite yet. And British forces are coming out of the trees here, while other British forces are approaching the river. There's a high ground there, so pretty certain that there's going to be soldiers there. But we'll run back over here because this is where the battle is going to kick off at. See here, there's some more British skirmishers coming in. Halifax rifles coming out of the woods onto the flank of this little village here. Now British regulars have arrived on the scene. Yellow Bandit Robbers, pretty unique unit. Oh, like the Mohawks are starting to move out in the field. Quite about to see the first shots fired in this battle. More of a skirmish this battle is going to really be. And there we go. They definitely have the range on these guys. So some of these guys are taking hits, they know it. They're going to move up, they're going to return fire. This is more of a, probably a light infantry unit, I'm not sure. They don't quite have the range. But they could be skirmishers. Larger formation though. They're going to open fire. Love the sounds and the smoke design on this game. On this mod, I should say. The unit detail is really good too.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest awhile.
See these Halifax rifles hiding over here in the tree. Oh no, they're actually firing. They're in range to fire on that flank. They're really hidden. You can't even see the guys over here. I heard some cannon shells going over. Probably in this area here. There's a British 6-pounder battery over here, moving into position. Now listen to that. We're all the way back here, you know, come over to the general. You can see the smoke in the distance, you can hear the battle starting to unfold over there. I turned the minimap off just because I wanted to have more view. There's a shell right there. That shell went way over the trees, top of anybody. These Mohawks have only lost 2 guys. You can see the American skirmishers are starting to fall back. They're just getting outshot. They got guys in their flank. It's not helping them any either. Oh, there's information of something I don't like is I can't look at the unit names on this American side. Like here's a unit of. I really couldn't tell if they're militia or not. Probably a special unit, probably like Indiana Volunteers or something like that. They're falling back a little. You can see the distance. British regulars are showing up. And the Mohawks are still in range. You moving up is the yellow banded range robbers. Can't quite read that. Shell hit right there. Look at that. Skimmed across the ground. But the British regulars are moving up, getting ready to make an assault on that little village. All the British units, there the riflemen are starting to move back up to fight again for the Americans. Let's get a volley from here. Very nice. We've also got the Swiss mercenaries moving up to aid in the assault. And on the right flank, some more Swiss mercenaries. Also, some units over here coming out of the trees. Look at that. 4 of them. Some Pontius Pilate's bodyguards, St. John's Fencibles, some Quebec Fencibles, and some Halifax Fencibles. And they're going to come at the village from the other side. And you can see one of these, at least one of these buildings, you can occupy. And you can bet money there's guys in it right now. Mohawk skirmishers have done their job. They've only taken 3 casualties, so they're going to move back, and they're going to let the infantry move up and take over from here. Those are light troops. They can move around the battlefield quick, and they'll be useful. The perfectly dressed lines, arms shouldered. There goes a shell flying overhead. Double click on the left flank. Here we go. Shell just hit down in there. Look, these guys are already starting to get winded, but they're firing now.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Let's hear that. They're in the building. So you see these Americans, for some reason, they're already pretty winded. That's going to play into how well they can put up a fight here. They're also outnumbered. They're taking fire from these Swiss mercenaries. Oh, man. Shell just hit there, took them out. These guys have had to quickly turn to face the left flank. Some more Americans have come across the river. So they're adjusting their lines quick to face a threat. There's 2 companies firing down here, down the road, once these guys get set up. Fire on the left flank, fire down the center. This is neat because it's not a look at this. These guys are already running. They must have really hauled butt to get over here because it didn't take much for them to turn around. They're not going to leave the battlefield though. They'll only run a little ways and they'll come back and be back in the fight. They just need to move back and get some rest. The artillery is really working these guys though. Look at that. Proper battle going on down here in the village. Small skirmish really by standards. This is the War of 1812, so it's not very big. Now these guys have taken heavy casualties. They're moving back. But really they're just outgunned. They're getting fired on from 3 different locations. The battles, they got guys in the woods here actually. Look at that. These are regular infantry. They're already winded. Really all it is at this point is the American defense just wasn't quite ready for this initial attack. They're outgunned, they're outnumbered. But you can bet they'll regroup. Here comes some more units across the river. So really, you get to the point where you're kind of... They've been spotted. These guys should probably stop. They're probably on double quick and get their energy back up before they attack, because they're not going to last long. You're lucky to get a volley off. But those are just things you learn when you play. You can guarantee this battle would be different if it was fought a second time. This is a big unit, though. Probably militia, though. Let's get a good volley here. Look at that. They've definitely taken casualties over here in the British ranks. Officers even putting in some work. Some more units have turned to face the attack. Firing through the woods here. More Americans in the center. Oh, looks like the building's starting to fire now. Can't see the guys in it. There's smoke coming from it, so no, there's guys in it. The action might be still in the fog of war for some reason. Look at that. These Halifax rifles are firing at a decently long range. It looks like it's these St. John's Fencibles attacking the building. Putting in the work. I saw a shell come in here. It's probably that British artillery. See now, these
Our men are running.
First World foot moving in. And look at that. That's probably those bandits. Bandit robbers, that's what they are. Yep, they're running. They'll come back probably, though. They're not that low on casualties. But right now it's up to these Swiss mercenaries to hold that left flank. Trying to put in some work. We're up against what looks like regular infantry here. Interesting battle set up here in the Americas because of the tall grass and the trees. This is really tall grass. I mean, look at that. The unit's completely engulfed in it. Oh, there's another unit moving to their left flank of those American troops here. And these militia are going to open up on the British coming down the center. You can see rounds bouncing off that house. The house is helping. Buildings, even if they're buildings like this that aren't occupiable, those are really good to anchor your flanks. Let's see, those are the First World fit. Those are going to be a pretty decent unit. Dressing their lines. They're definitely taking a good bit of fire, though. But you see the militia, they're already getting winded. Bad units to put up against regular infantry like this. They're running. They'll be back, though. And we've got St. John Fencibles here on the outside. They're not firing anymore. We'll probably move up here in a second. So far, let's see. There's those yellow banded robbers. They came back. Oh, good volley from the Swiss mercenaries. Good volley. So far, this British assault on the town is actually going decently well. Looks like these guys aren't quite in range of the house. We'll have to figure that out soon. They start returning fire, else they're just going to be getting shot. Same thing over here, which now these guys are moving up. And so are those Halifax rifles. They're moving up too. Not in any hurry though. It looks like there's an American unit coming through the woods. They're sitting there, but they're going to come. Colonial volunteers, maybe. I keep saying colonial, but this is I keep forgetting this is the War of 1812. They're not. They're a country now. This is America. So now they're starting to put fire into that house. Return rounds. Those Swiss mercenaries are actually pushing through the woods now. Look at that. They're marching right up against this unit. Not sure if they see him or not. They must. They're stopping to fire. Let's get a good volley here. There we go. Could be better, but they're reloading. Not sure why these guys aren't. Oh, they are firing, I guess, on the end. Not sure why they won't return fire though. Might need to be turned or something. These First World foot, they're taking casualties getting holes shot on their lines, but they're fighting. And then these guys here are pulling back, actually. There you can see the Americans in there. That building's only at 27% damage. Let's check that British artillery. They're firing. I can hear the gunfire. So we go over here. There's those Mohawks. They're across the river now. You can see there's troops here. Looks like the American batteries over here too. There they are. These are actually being a menace. They're not firing though. I doubt they're at ammo. They might just need a target set.
Right away.
Small formation, moving up on those Mohawks. And you can believe there's troops up here. There's troops there. And the British troops are starting to move across the river. Preparing an assault on that hill. Let's go back to the village. These
Our
British...
men are running,
Oh,
sir.
some guys are running. So you can figure out who it is. Those are American troops there. They took that spot from those Fencible soldiers.
Moving out.
Did their job, now they're gonna move back. Not sure. Oh, there they are. It's those Swiss mercenaries. They're putting up a good fight. They're out of here now. They might come back. Those yellow banded robbers are gonna move in and pull up the slack for a little bit. A good opportunity to flank if they could. But you're really controlling two fronts here. You're fighting here on the village, and pretty soon you'll be fighting up here on the town. Actually, these guys are opening fire on those British troops coming across the river. Some green jacket looking riflemen. See if they're getting anybody. Yeah, they're taking casualties. They're getting shot. They don't know it yet. You can see American troops up on the hill. Now, this battle started to have issues for the Americans because they started having ammunition problems. Where for some reason their units were running out of ammo. The British never did though. I'm not sure if that had something to do with capture points or something. This wasn't played for objectives or anything. It was mostly just played for fun. So I'm not sure what the issue was behind that, but they had that issue, and there was a big part of that. Almost the battle's going well for the British. The tide almost got turned. And if the Americans had some more ammo, this could have been a different outcome. So Swiss mercenaries came back. We've got the... Oh, both Swiss mercenaries are here on the road. That First Royal Foot, man. They're taking casualties, but they're still in it. Those are a good unit to have. Here are those St. John's Fencibles. They just shifted left a little bit. Americans holding the road. They're getting shot from the wood line, though. And some British... Halifax Fencibles holding the flank. This is where the main battle is going down, though. See, these guys aren't returning fire. It's possible that they're out of ammo. They could be out of range, but couldn't tell you for sure. There's still a battle going over here in the woods. Down here on the riverbank, small units. It sure doesn't sound like a small battle, does it? Not the American artillery firing? Yes, now they're opening it up again. Let's see if we can track one of their shells here in a second. Second round to run back over there. Looks like this flank of the Americans might be about to be wrapped up. Really, the biggest aid here for the British on this side of the river, or this village, is these are just good quality troops. There they fired. Shell hit right there, it looks like. You can see they got more troops moving around to the left. There's the 103rd King's Irish moving to the left flank. Let's check the... I forgot about this hill. Let's check it out, see what's going on. Moving up in column. The entire line, too. No reserves. Those American rifles are opening fire. Looks like these light Fencibles are going to return fire. Yep. American troops. Americans have the high ground. They're going to have the better range. When you're attacking high ground like this, it's important to have your guys in either a column or a little deeper line, because it'll slow down the casualty rates and they'll last a lot longer. Looks like they're actually trying to figure out how to do something different here because the troops on the flank. These columns are firing though. And see what's odd is these guys run out of ammo at some point. And I'll show you when. It's a big deal too. Maybe a little bit outnumbered on the hill, but they have the high ground. They're gonna have the better accuracy, easier to hold. But you can believe these British columns are gonna put up a fight. Look at that. These troops down here, they shifted right, but they're fatigued. They've been marching. They're under fire. Those columns are gonna open up, start returning rounds. Who are these? Oh, those are militia. I wonder if they were because of the mixture of uniforms. Now they're going to move again. It's not a good idea to move under fire, but sometimes it's got to be done. British volleys across the river. These New Brunswick Fencibles are setting up their line. Are they in range?
Our men are running.
Don't look like it. Oh, guys are running. Where are they at? Oh, they're not on the hill. How about that? Over here. Well, I'm not there's some British troops running somewhere. I'm not sure where though. Oh, it's over here, I think. Yes, that left flank. It's those light fencibles. They didn't take a lot of casualties, and they actually, General came over and tried to collect them, and they said, we're done. We're not fighting anymore. They left. So you can see a couple units left on the hill still to cover the retreat. Not heavy casualties here, but you're fighting the hill, you're gonna lose morale, you're gonna lose men. These columns are doing good to cover the retreat, and now they're gonna get out of dodge. America's gonna keep putting it into their backs. But they've moved out of range now. And now you can't see anymore because of the fog of war. But there's still possibly gonna be an engagement over here. Yep, the Americans are open firing. Good volley. Brits gotta return fire. Another good volley. These Americans are outnumbered though. They look like riflemen, so they're going to be more accurate though. And these guys are going to be important because the cannons. Oh no, the cannons are moving. That's because British have essentially taken the village, and it looks like the Americans are going to pull back and try and hold that hill completely because the artillery was moving, leaving a few units behind to slow the British advance, which is a good idea. These guys are leaving the building, it looks like. British haven't taken a lot of casualty on this flank moving in. This, you can see, looking at the ground, coming through these trees and up the road. They've taken losses. Looks like these Mohawks might be firing across the river. These guys should probably be moving up, taking what they can, because these Americans are getting their forces out. These guys are, but they're stalling the advance. They're doing their job. There they go. They've done their job. They can run. They earned it. You can see there were British troops up to here at one point. Lines had to move back a little bit. These are fresh troops too. They've only taken a few casualties. Volleys to the left. That's from the Mohawk warriors. You can see American troops moving into position here. Cannons are getting deployed. British troops are sitting at the base of the hill. And at this point, there's only 3 formations here. 4, we'll count these. So you've got to be careful taking that hill, because one formation running, that can be a big problem. So you can see here the general, he's running over here trying to collect these guys. Don't work. They take off. They leave. They didn't lose that many guys. Mohawks are standing in the water. Bad place to get shot. If you can't stand up, you're gonna drown. Let's see if these guys can get any. Hitting the water. Very nice. Artillery setup, it looks like. Loading up. Looks like British are advancing on the hill too. Canadian Voltigeurs. Oh, American volley coming from the woods. Good volley too. They're letting those Voltigeurs have it. Now they're returning fire. Regular troops moving up the hill. You can see these Americans from the village now have arrived. They're setting up. When Nova's a line here, we saw them earlier. What's this? Oh, they got 2 batteries. Looks like they need to move up a little bit though. They're shooting the hillside. These British raiders have stopped though.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Let's check these cannons out. The British only have 1 battery of 6-pounders. These cannons waiting for a target, it looks like. We got the road blocked off. Can't come this way without a fight. More infantry shifting down the hill. Fighting's calmed down just a few skirmisher units, but it's hard to tell how many units the Americans have left because of the fog of war. You can see there's troops moving here. There's gonna be more troops back in here too. Let's go back. Listen to that from range. Just a distant battle. That's so cool. These columns are shooting at the troops trying to retreat across the river. There's a Mohawk warrior dead in the water. Was it the bullet or the water that killed him? We'll never know. Now there's some British forces pushing up on the road. They're fatigued though. They might not last. The advance on the hill starting, it looks like. British troops moving up the left, trying to protect the left flank. The Voltigeurs are doing some work. British troops shifting left. Look at the Americans from this point of view. Those are militia. There's the volley. So I wonder if you guys are see these guys. Those are full formation. They're not firing. They're on the hill. They're in range. Are they out of ammo? Because the Americans had problems with that for some reason. Only a couple guys are firing. See these Voltigeurs are losing men. British need to wake up and put some infantry into the fight, and they are. Starting on the left flank. Call them the Bloodhounds. Blaney's Bloodhounds. Artillery's limbered up. That militia's putting the fire in good and heavy. Man, they're putting good volleys down there. Keeping them up hot. They're taking casualties. Now these light militia are in range. They're gonna start fighting. It's gonna be a slow push up the hill. Look at this line on the river though. They're held at bay though. Firing through the reeds. The dead Americans definitely still hold their crossing though. Don't have a lot of infantry there. They've got these ranged units, these riflemen and such. They might be out of ammo though. These guys aren't. Neither are these troops. They're putting up a fight. They're holding that roadway there. Not sure the artillery is doing. These guys still aren't firing though. Not as much as they should. Sometimes you just gotta click them and you gotta tell them to attack. You gotta right click the enemy forces and say, hey, fire on these guys. If you can catch them. Because if you're occupied somewhere else, you miss stuff like that. It's easy to miss stuff like that. These Canadian Voltigeurs are doing a good job holding their own. While the troops move up to the right flank. You can see they're fighting here. Fighting here. British troops coming across the river. That riverbank's starting to roll up. These troops are moving back. See, this left flank of the British is what is going to screw the Americans over at the end of the battle because they run out of ammo at a very important moment. Not sure why. Why did they run out and the British didn't? Couldn't tell ya. Unless they got locked into melee for some reason. American player didn't know it. There, look at that volley come out of the wood line. British troops moving up here on the right. No, sorry, those are Americans. They are moving up, just look the wrong unit. Just made it across the river. These units are firing. There's American units in the woods. They're running. Here's where it began. You hear that off the distance? I do believe there's a battle afoot. Here's where it's moved to. But it also started over here. Look at that line. Just wraps around the hill. The Voltigeurs are doing a good job of being stretched out and connecting the lines. They'll have to have a full infantry unit in there locking it up. There's a general. Some infantry here. I'm sure he's micromanaging that left flank of his. It's hard to move everybody whenever you have to focus on one spot, trying to get that riverbank out of one tack. These guys are doing a good job though. They're holding the hill. They're outnumbered and the British could charge up at any second, but if they did, that's a lot of ground to cover. They're probably going to get routed if they do. So at this point, you've got to sit back at range and you just got to return fire. Let's check that British battery, see what it's doing. There's a British unit that's rounding, actually. That's those yellow banded robbers. Right now, they're not doing anything. They probably got forgot about. They probably weren't doing much to start with anyways. You can see this whole hill's getting wrapped up. Now, obviously we can't see the units here, so it looks like it's complete done for the Americans, but we know there's units in here that you guys are going to run into. We know that. So we're looking at, we're saying, now shouldn't the Americans pull back? They've got units we can't see. There's going to be a couple parts of the battle where we go, hold on a second, they might pull this off. Taking casualties. Who are these? Blaney's Bloodhounds. This is some sort of volunteer unit, because see how we've got guys in like a gray coat, and then we've got red coats? Let's get nice and close on these lines. Who are these? Militia. Either they're out of ammo or they're out of range. Voltigeurs, let's zoom in over here. Quebec Fencibles. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This mod is so awesome. Let's do the same for the Americans. These guys are low on low fatigue, but they ain't quitting. Guys are driving, but they're gonna keep on fighting. These guys are facing those guys that weren't firing for the British. They're just out of range. I'm not sure what the artillery's doing. Maybe they're out of ammo too. Going up a fight. Holding their own. Holding the right. Very cool. Look at that. Now this is the sneaky part here. We got troops moving to the right flank. What are they gonna do? I'm wondering if they came from the village, that's why they ran out of ammo. But it doesn't make any sense because none of these British troops ever ran out of ammo. Look at that. I mean, they're stretched. They're rolling up that hill. There's a dead horse. And these are pretty fresh units. They're close. Americans are gonna make sure they let them know they're here. There you go. Good volley. I wonder how many of these are like volunteer units, not really trained. See, these guys aren't shooting either. I'm guessing I heard that they ran out of ammo, a lot of them did. I don't understand why. And if you're over here working on a right flank, you're not gonna notice. Look at this, look at this, look at this. That's what I'm talking about. See this flank? British is over here micromanaging this. Doesn't see this going on. Just now saw it. Gotta fall back, gotta turn, gotta face it. Look at that. Look at them peel off that line. These guys are running. This could be the tie. This could be where they sweep around, and this could be the changing moment for the Americans. This unit's running, just took a lot of casualties. You saw them drop in here. These guys have just gotten turned, but they're gonna get wrapped up. They're outnumbered. Nobody's protecting their flank. What they can do is try and slow the American advance down. Watch this. Out of ammo. Had to leave. I don't know how he knew they were out of ammo. He just told me they ran out of ammo. A lot of his units did. And obviously, he didn't just click and say, get out of here. You don't have that happen and then say run. They're out of ammo. Why? I don't know. And that was the end of the battle. Not sure why it doesn't show the battle results. Odd. Upsides? No. That's for the rematch. There was like 800 and something British losses and like 1,000 American, I believe. So there it is. A glorious battle. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because that was even funner to watch because you get to move around the battlefield and watch it. So thanks for watching, and I hope we have more of these.